Okay, it's June 1st. The NBA Finals are finally here, and we have the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers for a rubber match, the third year in a row. So for all you casual basketball fans out there, or people that aren't necessarily fans, does this series interest you? I'd just like to know. I'm just curious to know if there's going to be a lot of buzz for these NBA finals because Jesus Christ, I mean the playoffs this year I've been watching basketball for like 20 to 25 years since 1992, and I have to say that this was the least engaging NBA playoffs I've seen in my whole life, and just not a lot of good competition on both sides. Golden State got lucky with a lot of injuries. Cleveland just played teams that are just not ready yet. The Eastern Conference definitely needs to they definitely need more contenders to step up. And I think a big problem is a lot of the more talented players in our league are just on teams that are just not ready yet. And I think that's been the problem right now. And, there's just a lot of rebuilding going on the East Coast, Western Conference, just like a couple years ago. Golden State is just, they just caught a lot of breaks. So you got two teams that were almost undefeated heading into the NBA Finals. So it's just kind of like seeing a bunch of squash matches in wrestling, and then you're finally having these two juggernauts meet in WrestleMania. It kind of feels that way. And I wasn't looking forward to the series. I'm the kind of guy that likes to see new blood there. I was hoping the Knicks would make it to the finals, I was just hoping to see, different teams in the finals at the beginning of the season. But unless something major changes over the next couple of years, we're going to be seeing the same teams meet every single year. And it kind of raises the question, is this good for the league to see the same teams face over and over again? And, it definitely, it might be because you're seeing the, three or four of the biggest stars in the league in the NBA Finals every year, so that's a good thing. It makes it easy for the fan because you kind of know what to expect, which is always good for any type of product. And, if I was to compare it back to the 80s, you had the Lakers and the Celtics meet every single year. And everyone looks back at those days like it was the glory days for the NBA. Like that's what saved the NBA. The Lakers, Magic Johnson going up against Larry Bird in the finals every single year. It just made for such a compelling story and so many great series there. But I don't know. The playoffs have just been so bad, though, man. It's just I just think that I think for the diehards, it hasn't been good for the game because a lot of diehard fans, you want to see competition. Even back in the 80s, you had great series. So people say, oh, well, who really cares? When you look back at the Lakers and the Celtics, people would say, does anyone care, who they faced before they got to the finals? And yeah, it's true that there was some great series. I remember the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks had a great series back in '88. I remember, the Celtics and the Pistons had a classic series back in '87. So there was, classic series back in the '80s before the Lakers and Celtics met in the finals. Just no one really remembers it. But, it's just a problem that the league has to solve. Like I said, I just think a lot of the better players in the league that could carry a playoff series aren't on playoff teams yet. So I think, that's part of the problem. But hopefully things just change within the next couple of years. But yeah, Cleveland versus Golden State. To me, the biggest story of this series is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant going for his first NBA championship. Took a lot of criticism, for jumping on the bandwagon and joining the Warriors. And, when he did it, I was just kind of, I didn't really know what to think at first. I was a little disappointed because I thought him and Westbrook had a real chance of winning it this year, especially with how good they played last year in the playoffs. But as the season unfolded, I kind of found myself siding with Kevin Durant. I just don't think the personalities mixed with Westbrook and Durant. It's kind of like it was kind of like in hip hop analogy form. It was kind of like Snoop and Tupac. Those personalities didn't mix as well. Snoop was really laid back and really became a humble dude. And Westbrook or Tupac at the time was always loud, always trying to start controversy, always trying to get in people's face, always being selfish, always hogging the spotlight. And it was kind of like the same thing with Westbrook. He plays a very selfish style for me. I know he had a great season, but I just don't like the way he goes for the triple-double and then he starts jacking up shots. I just think it's a very selfish way to play. And I think after a while, Kevin just wanted to evolve his game. I think it was too good of a chance to pass up to play with the Warriors because you're playing with so much great talent, so many great shooters, a chance to play team basketball with guys that can play. It was a huge chance to evolve his game and get better. And, you could tell Kevin Durant had his best season all around this year, from the defensive end to sharing the basketball to moving without the ball. I just thought he got a lot better this season, and he definitely evolved his game, and it's been fun to watch. It's been an unselfish style. And to me, it's just hard not to like Kevin Durant. He's always been one of my favorite players, such a good shooter, such a good player. No one loves basketball more than Kevin Durant, so I really relate to him, and I really hope he gets it. I really do. I think him and Golden State definitely has more weapons offensively. The only thing that worries me about them is Klay Thompson. Klay's role's been kind of, he's the one that's kind of taken the hit the most. Curry's even taken, somewhat of a step back, being unselfish. But to me, it just seems like from time to time, Klay doesn't really know exactly what his role is. So I'm just worried he's going to kind of become like a Harrison Barnes from last year's NBA Finals. But I think he'll be fine overall. But the other problem with Golden State is rim protection. Just a little bit worried about JaVale McGee and his inexperience and goofiness. May end up costing them the series. Not having Bogut. They just don't have the rim protection that they had in the past. So I'm a little bit worried about that from Golden State's standpoint. Cleveland coming into this finals looks great. They definitely made the Eastern Conference look like the JV conference. Especially the series against the Celtics and the Raptors. They just look so much more dominant. It looked like the Monstars. It just, LeBron's just stepped up his game this year, even big time. You just can't guard him one-on-one like you have in the past. Just so much power, so much speed. And this year with Cleveland, I think they have improved their team. They just have so much shooting now. They've really kind of stacked the team with shooting so much that they can compete with Golden State. You got Kyle Korver coming off the bench. You got a great backup point guard in Darren Williams, who's a former All-Star. So I definitely do think Cleveland has improved. There's just certain guys on Cleveland that I'm just worried that won't match up very well with Golden State, like a Kevin Love. So that's definitely going to be a problem. But I think Cleveland has enough rim protection to kind of offset some of the bad matchup problems. So overall, I think this is going to be a great series. I could see this coming down to a 6th or a 7th game. Last year, Draymond Green getting suspended and, kicking LeBron in the nuts kind of, really, turned the tide, for Cleveland. So, that's the other problem. I think Draymond just needs to keep his composure, not do anything stupid, because there's a good chance if Golden State just, stays together and, doesn't do anything stupid like they did last year, they could easily win this series. So this is definitely, but I just definitely think it's going to be a toss up. I think both teams, Cleveland has even looked more impressive than Golden State in the playoffs. So I think both teams have proven that they're definitely on the same level. So I wouldn't expect, Cleveland to get down 3-1 like they did last year. I definitely think it's going to be more even. But at the same time, as long as Draymond has, been with the team, or not have gotten suspended, Golden State has had the advantage each and every time since they figured out, going small. Cleveland has problems matchup wise with that situation. So yeah, I'm excited about the finals. I think Golden State will win. I think Kevin Durant will finally get a ring. LeBron will be going for his 4th NBA championship, and it's possible. I definitely think it's a toss-up. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you're rooting for. This would be huge for LeBron's legacy and Durant's legacy and Steph Curry as well. I like Steph's approach this year, kind of conserving his energy for the playoffs and then turning it on for the playoffs, just like LeBron's done. LeBron did the exact same thing, saved his energy for the playoffs. And he's looking better than ever. So, we've suffered through an awful playoffs. And we're finally going to get to see, who the real champion is in the rubber match. So let me know if you guys are excited about the finals. Let me know who's going to win, and I'll see you later.